Rowlet's out. So today we're going to be playing with Rowlet. We're also going to be trying out Slowpoke. I haven't tried out Slowpoke at all this generation, so I'm curious to see how well it'll do in the current metagame. And besides that, the rest of the Pokemon on the team are pretty standard. Some people are saying Larvesta is not too good right now, especially Scarf Larvesta, but I needed a Scarfer, and I also needed something to deal with fighting types and to some extent Nimble. So I think that Larvesta should be okay for this specific team. Also, it's got a decent speed tier for a Scarfer, so it'll help outspeed something like maybe the Scarf Launcher if it ends up being Scarf. As a lead, I think I'm going to lead Diglett here because if they lead off with this, it's good. If they lead off with this, it's good. Lead off with this, it could be good as well. Diglett's pretty good overall in this game. Gotta decide what we want to disguise Zorua as. Zorua, I want to have, I mean, Zorua doesn't really fare too well in this game overall, but I will disguise it as Larvesta, I think. Just go with that, I don't know. They don't have a fighting type. Otherwise, I would maybe disguise it as my Slowpoke instead. Okay, on this, I'm gonna go Larvesta. I don't want it to turn into a flying type on me. And if they go for that, they can get burned. As of course they don't, they never do. That's a bit surprising that they would do that. I'm gonna go here into... I'm surprised they would stay in like that. Like, why would you stay in? Seems like a bad play. If they go for Iron Head again, that'll be sad, but I don't have a Dark type resist on this team. I don't have a Fighting type or a Fairy type. That's a bit unfortunate. Stone Edge, huh? Okay, then I will Roost on that. In case they decide to go for Sucker Punch. Okay, my opponent has points. I've never seen Stone Edge Pawniard. It's a very interesting set they've got here. Okay. They may go for Night Slash or something. They are insisting on going for that. Let's quickly look at Wattrel here. Pawniard. You'll see Discharge doesn't do that much. So, it's a very confusing set. I'm just gonna sack this so I can get a safe switch in again into Larvesta, and we can U-turn here very safely. Definitely need to keep Larvesta around in this game. It helps a lot with Tinkatink and this, and if we get a burn on Nimble, that'd be great. And yeah, the Pawniard's gone, which frees up Zorua a lot, which is nice. Gonna go into my Zorua actually. Now that I've gone into Diglett, they may want to go into Toedscool. Or seemingly I've gone into Diglett, they may want to go into Toedscool. And Rowlet actually does decently against Toedscool, which is pretty nice. If they go into Clauncher, then I will click the Knock Off, because that means they're probably Scarf. And they probably don't go into Tinkatink here. Yeah, and if they go Nimble, then I am Eviolite. So we go with Zorua and Nimble, and we can see the first impression doesn't kill, and Terra Blast is actually a roll to kill, so I'm going to go for Terra Blast, because if they decide to not go for first impression, then that'd be great. I don't know why you'd go into Nimble hard on Diglett, because a lot of Diglett run Protect specifically for Nimble, and so usually I actually use my Diglett to kill Nimble. So why would you go into this? I'm not sure. They could definitely tear a Bug, which would be unfortunate. But if they do that, now I can go into Diglett and click Rock Blast, and you're trapped here. So that's a strange play to me. Especially because what did my Zorua really get me in this game? I don't have Icy Wind for Toedscool. I could burn the Tinkatink, but I could also just trap and kill it. 1, 2, 3. Okay, good. So we didn't get unlucky there, and they lost their Terra and their Nimble, which really frees up my Slowpoke and my Rowlet. So I will take that. So now that they can't Terra anymore, that is really fantastic for my Wattrel. Or for dealing with Wattrel, because now they can't turn into a water type, right? So I can Rock Blast that. As they go Toedscool, I will Terra Ice. I love my Terra Ice Diglett. For those of you who watch my channel, you know that this is my favorite and only Diglett set I ever use. Never bring a Toedscool out on me, especially if you've already used your Terra up. So now, I'm assuming that this Clauncher is Choice Scarf. So I will use my Slowpoke for that, I think, because Slowpoke doesn't really do anything else. And that should be fine. This particular Slowpoke doesn't actually have... they could Dark Pulse here. I mean, that'd be a play if they wanted to make it. But I'm willing to sack my Slowpoke for that information. Because they're only 15 speed and Larvesta is 16 speed. They actually make the worst possible play there. Since I don't know. I'm gonna just go for Psychic. Yeah, in case they go Wattrel there. And now... Discharge? Because I don't have a... Yeah. Alright, fair enough. I'm going to actually sack Rowlet now, I think. Because I think I want to keep my Slowpoke around for the Clauncher. Because I can Thunder Wave it. Whereas Rowlet doesn't get me too much, I don't think. As they go for Air Slash. Very interesting. But at this point I have Larvesta in the back, so I'm not too concerned. And I will just go for Knock Off here. Okay, Larvesta comes out. And we can just click Flare Blitz. And that'll kill Larvesta. That'll... Oh, it's Scarf Wattrel. Okay, never mind. Well, that's bad then, actually. Now I'll click Psychic again. Or Fire Blast, actually. Fire Blast is better. Because now that they know that I know that they're Scarfed, then they may need to switch out to go Tink Tink here. These guys have a lot of really unconventional sets. Stone Edge on Pawnyard and Scarf Wattrel. So I'm definitely getting caught off guard here. But they go Clauncher here. Psychic, I suppose, is the only play I can make. As they do go for Dark Pulse, yep. And I don't think Diglett will live this. Yeah, it didn't. So I don't know if that crit mattered, but it didn't really matter at the end of the day because they just had Discharge from my Slowpoke anyway. And the Tink Tink would have KO'd me. So unfortunately, we lost that game to a bit of team knowledge. If I'd known that they were Scarf, of course, I could have just stayed in for my Slowpoke, right? And I wouldn't have played the way I did. And the Stone Edge Pawnyard was very weird. Especially because they stayed in on my Larvesta. Does Larvesta not kill? Let's find out. No, it definitely kills. That's not impish or anything, but it's got some investment in it. It definitely kills. So I don't know why they didn't switch on the Flare Blitz. Very strange plays by my opponent. But it worked out for them, so can't criticize too much. Alright, we found another game. Looking at my opponent's team, they could have Scarf on their Zorua potentially. I don't think that Scarf, his Hisuian Zorua is particularly good. Scarf on the Houndour seems far more likely. Or potentially Scarf Limited is still a decent Scarfer as well. So we'll have to watch out for that. In terms of lead matchup, I don't really like any of my Pokemon as a lead. I definitely don't want to lead Diglett. I think that would be a bad play. One Pokemon that does do okay is Wattrel. So I think maybe I will lead off with Wattrel. And then if they decide to lead off with Diglett, we will hard switch into Slowpoke on that. And then, speaking of Zorua, I think on that, we don't want to be Slowpoke because if it's against Houndour, that'd be bad. Instead, I would prefer to be Rowlet, because then I can convince the Brawler maybe to stay in on me. Alright, so here I will Volt Switch. If they are Scarf, we will find out. And if they are not Scarf, then because I'm Flying type, they're probably not going to go for Mud Shot. I can go Diglett. And if they Power Gem, then that's great. Technically now I can go for Protect. If they want to get up a Hazard, that's fine. What I don't want is for them to Terra Grass. I'll Earthquake here and just kill them. That's fine. I lost some HP on my Diglett. I do have a T-Spike up. I do have Defog, however, so that's cool. Here we'll just Earthquake as they actually Stone Edge. What? Why would they Stone Edge? I am trapped with you. That was a bad play on my opponent's part. Uh-huh. And now we go Slowpoke. It's unfortunately gonna have to get Toxic to, unless this is, yeah, okay, I didn't think it was. Now I can just Thunder Wave. Last Resort? The heck? Okay. So I'll go Zorua now. And completely wall you. Unfortunately, because of the T-Spike, they know that this is not Rowlet. But, and I don't know if this is Zorua or if it's Houndour. That's actually a really interesting pairing. Houndour, Zorua. What do we do here? I want to keep this Zorua healthy, or around at least, because I know the Quaxly is this really stupid set. And even though it's not a particularly big threat, it would just be good to have for insurance. Slowpoke is good for Crabrawler still. And Larvesta is just, you know, it's important as a Scarfer. I think here... I almost want to sack my Diglett. It is just so good. Maybe I will sack Rowlet after all. Just to see which one this is. Because they go for Dark Pulse, and that doesn't tell me anything. Except for if I actually look, I'd maybe be able to calc this, because one of them would be stabbed and one of them is not. Houndour. With a Life Orb, Dark Pulse does 33 to 54%. This is not Dark Life Orb. I could Terra Water here, but I don't really see what that gets me. So I'm just going to sack this. They go for Terra Dark, actually. Very interesting. Okay. So now at this point, I can go Larvesta and U-turn. If they are Scarf, they will outspeed me. Otherwise, I will outspeed them. And that was actually Houndour. Good to know. Okay. So at this point, I will go into Wattrel. Wattrel won't get poisoned. We don't have any way to defog now. And we know this is not Quaxly, this is Zorua, because the Quaxly had Rapid Spin and Last Resort, and Zorua does not get this. So, because it's not paralyzed, you can tell that it is Zorua. At this point, I don't really need... Well, I mean, I did say I wanted to keep my Zorua. We'll go for Discharge here, potentially get a para, as they go for Hyper Beam. Yo! That's crazy. Okay. At this point, Diglett can come out and get a kill. They can't switch on me. I shouldn't die to poison. Yep, I got one more turn of that. Oh no, I forgot about Life Orb. Psych, Life Orb. Okay. Now I'll go Larvesta. And if they go Crabrawler, which they do, I can click Zen Headbutt. And they can potentially get burned. or they can just die to Zen Headbutt. And then I have something that completely walls this Quaxley set. But first of all, I will go Slowpoke. I think. And just quick Psychic here. And then I can go into Larvesta and, well, it's not Larvesta, into Zoroark and just click the X and that'll kill. That's one of the reasons I wanted to run Slowpoke on this team. I wanted to see how Hex would work with status spam. So I have a Thunder Waver in Slowpoke, and I have another para Pokemon in Wattrel. Then I have Flame Body on Larvesta, and Zero itself has Will-O-Wisp. So that's 4 ways to get status, and then Hex should be able to do a lot of work. I haven't seen a lot of work out of Hex yet, but that just could be how I'm playing it. Alright, so looking at my opponent's team, they are pretty weak to Diglett. I am going to lead off with Diglett in case they try to do Meowth shenanigans. And then I will disguise Zorua as... As Rowlet again, I think. It's another one of those times where it's a grounded Pokemon versus a not grounded Pokemon. Hopefully there's no T-Spikes or Spikes this time. But I think Krogunk, for example, if Krogunk comes out, I want it to try to go for a poison move, expecting Rowlet, not to go for Sucker Punch, expecting Zora. I think that's the idea there. It could also work against Meowth as well, or Meowth may want to fake out Rowlet. Pawmi is an interesting Pokemon. I haven't seen a single Pawmi, I want to say, in all my time playing. But I guess, you know, all my time playing isn't that much. So I don't know what to expect from the Pawmi. Landed is sort of a cool Pokemon, a little cup. You don't see it very often, but it has a good speed tier and it has good coverage. So I can respect this Landed. And the Makahita is scary. Alright, that guy tightened out. So looking at this team, this is definitely a lot more of a standard team. Cholos is interesting. And my Larvesta does okay, but it's not the most critical. And depending on the Drifloon set, my Slowpoke could be really nice for that, as well as for the Brawler. And I think I want to lead off with a similar strategy with the Wattrel lead. That way I can Volt Switch into Diglett and Scout for Scarf. Scout by sacking my Wattrel, basically. Wattrel is fine against the Drifloon and the Shellos, so I would like to keep it around if I can. But we'll have to see what the Glimmet's doing before we know. This team doesn't necessarily have to have a Scarfer because you do have Drifloon, but I feel like Glimmet could be Scarf. We'll find out. And then I think if I disguise as Slowpoke, that... No, I want to disguise as Rowlet for the same reason as before, for Brawler, specifically. Okay, Wattrel lead into Drifloon. Gonna go for the Hurricane here, as they actually sack their Oran Berry, so they've burned their Unburden boost. They are a Hex, but that does not kill me. So I will go into Zorua here. I don't want to lose my Wattrel, and I can just go for Knock Off here. And I will take a lot of damage, so that's unfortunate. But to have their biggest form of speed control gone, turn 1, except for maybe Scarf Glimmet, is pretty good. Or maybe it's Scarf Pawniard. It could also be Scarf Pawniard. And so yeah, I'm a little bit sad that Wattrel doesn't get the kill. If I were Thunderbolted, it would have killed, I'm pretty sure. But that's the risk you run when you run Discharge. Alright, Glimmet comes out here. And I can actually go for the Hex. And if I go first, then we will see... Yeah, okay. And they go for Sludge Bomb, and I die. So now I can go into the Diglett. Once again, I'm going to protect in case they Terra Grass. They could get up a hazard, which would be annoying, as they do. And then, of course, they could Terra Grass now. So that's always the risk you run. But I'd rather keep my Diglett around because it does decently. Especially because now I can Terra Ice. Oh, I'll protect again here. Toedscool can't get a speed boost like that, yeah. Just trying to scout for people Terra watering or Terra stealing their Toadschools. Okay. Now we can go Crabrawler. Or we can go Larvesta on Crabrawler. I think that we sort of have to. Nice, they go immediately for Drain Punch. And we get the burn, which is good. Because that's all we really needed. So I'm actually going to Wild Charge here. Because in case they go into Shellos, I'd like to deal with that. Alright. Next up, I'm going to actually... Well... Alright, Wattrel is burned. And it's one of the few ways I have of beating Shellos still. I probably don't want to go into that. I'm going to go down to Slowpoke. And click Fire Blast immediately. You probably don't want to stay in on me. Or maybe you do. I'll just go for the Slack Off here. Slack Off again. And then this time I'll click Psychic. They know I have Fire Blast. Alright, that's fine. I will go for the Psychic. I don't think there's any reason to keep this around. I'll click Thunder Wave just to be annoying here. I don't really know if it's going to get anything, but as you can see, Terras are always good. And I don't care so much about the defense boosts as much as the Spidef boosts. I wonder if they're Facade. If they are, then that could be annoying. Slack Off again. If I get one or maybe two Spidef drops, that's basically a game right there for the Shellos. I'm pretty sure. I don't think they'll want to switch. I feel like this is sort of a sunk cost fallacy situation going on here. Black Off again, as we can now go for Psychic. The -1 Spidef. We're doing a decent chunk of damage. Yeah, okay, that pair is definitely coming in clutch here. So I'll take that. Slack Off again. Bit of a stally endgame. But I'm glad to see Slowpoke putting in at least a decent amount of work. I'm also glad that we only got one layer of T-Spike up. So my opponent's taking a little bit of time. Be a bit of bait. Maybe they're calcing something. What you don't want for them is to continue to do this and then switch into Pawniard on a free turn. Of course, any turn I go for Psychic would turn into a free turn. Alright. We got a para, but we didn't get a roll. Oh, there we go. Okay. So I'm not going to bother going for Slack Off here because I'd rather just kill them and get it over with. I will now go for the Fire Blast. And potentially get a burn, or I could also miss. As they turn into a Ghost type, interestingly. And then they go for Iron Head, which is sort of a scary play if I've ever seen one. Interesting. Since I have Diglett, I think the first thing I'm going to do is go into Diglett and just click Earthquake. In case they wanted to scout for my own Sucker Punch. I could have had Sucker Punch, in which case that would have been a problem. Now I can go to Rowlet. And let's see here. Rowlet versus Pawniard. Does this just kill? It may be a roll to kill. Nah, it's not. +2. Okay. And if they turn into a Ghost type, Then what is the higher damage move here? Brave Bird, Knock Off, do exactly the same amount of damage. Actually, no, it's actually a slightly higher roll for Knock Off, so we'll go for Knock Off. Oh, I forgot about Stealth Rock. Okay. Unfortunate. It's a very slow end game, but we didn't get it. Alright, here we got another game. Play Coco, which is fun. And a Shroodle. Okay. Well, I do have the Slowpoke, as we've said before, for the Diglett. So I think I will lead off with the Wattrel. And if they lead off with their Diglett, we can go hard into the Slowpoke. But otherwise, we'll play the same beginning as we always do. And then I will disguise my Zorua as Slowpoke. And maybe they will leave their Zorua in on me, and I can knock it off or something. Not really sure. It also means that they might knock off the Shroodle, or with the Shroodle. Alright, once again, Volt Switch here, as per usual. They do have a ground type, but they may not want to go into it. Oh, that was a crit into Zorua. I'm gonna go into Larvesta here. Wonder what they'll go for. They go for a U-turn, and we get the burn. So that's nice. That'll help us keep track of the Zorua. And now I can actually, in theory, go for Flare Blitz and just kill this. Really wanna. But actually, now that I think about it, Larvesta, Diglett. U-turn is a roll to kill. 50% chance to OHKO. Seems like every time they do it against me, it's always killing. It was Eviolite, so that's fine. I will go into my Slowpoke here as they go for Rock Blast. And now we can just click the Psychic. And they don't have anything for that. No, they just sack their Zorua. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, so if they're Eviolite Diglett, just for future reference, then Flare Blitz still would have killed. So maybe I could have gone for that. It could have also been Sash, though, and I didn't want that. Okay. Shroodle is out, and if I look at Shroodle damage, Prankster Pivot against Slowpoke. Knockoff actually doesn't do very much, and Psychic does a lot more. So I'll do that. Yeah, Knockoff doesn't do anything. And then I will go into my... I'm gonna go into my Larvesta and get a little bit greedy here. If they go for Gunk Shot, then I will still have my Choice Scarf. If they go for Knockoff, there's a chance I burn them. There we go, yeah. And so now, I don't know if they kill me with Gunk Shot even. I can just U-turn. What is the Facade? The heck? Alright. That's cool. So let's give it Facade. I don't think I've ever seen Facade on a Shroodle before. And make it burned. Then that is 44 to 55%. So we'll go into Slowpoke here. And we'll just slack off. I don't think that they'd switch this out. Whoa. The heck? Oh, that's right. I forgot I was... Wait, no, was I knocked off? I was knocked off. Yeah, I forgot about the knockoff. Oh, well. That's okay. I guess with knockoff, I was going to deal with Wax a little less well anyway. At this point, I think I'm going to go into my Rowlet, actually. Maybe? Just because they could really go into Diglett quite easily. Alternatively, I could go into my Wattrel and Terra if they decide to do that. Yeah, that's fine. Now I will go for the Volt Switch into my own Diglett, as we have done in the past. We go for Power Gem. I'll just Earthquake here. If they want to Terra this, then that does make my job a little more difficult against Fuecoco potentially. But that also means that I can go into Hisuian Zorua afterwards, and they won't have the Terror. Alright. I'm gonna go into my Zorua now, actually. They go for liquidation, and that's sad, but if they go for rapid spin, I feel like they always go for rapid spin. Like every single heckin' time. I'm just gonna click knock off first, because they could go for Coco expecting the Will-O-Wisp, like so. And now they are no longer as big of a threat. I'm gonna go into my... go into Wattrel here. And I will actually just click Hurricane, I think. You know, get the Fuecoco low, and if they go Diglett like that, then I miss, and that's really sad. Diglett against Wattrel. Rock Blast, but if I Terra into water, then it's 40 to 50%. So, I don't know. I think I might just want to sack this, or maybe Zorua? Zorua's still useful. I'll sack this. Yeah, and then I'm going to go Rowlet here, and I'm going to go into Terra Water and click the Seed Bomb. Or maybe... yeah, Seed Bomb is fun. Okay, now I can defog, for whatever that's worth. It'll keep me healthy. And now they may want to go for a burn or something. But I can go into my Zorua now and avoid that. Yep, like so. And I will just go for Hex, because it's pretty strong Hex. Yeah. And then that will put them in a dangerous position. I'm going to actually go hard Diglett here, predicting them to go for Slack Off. Yep. And then they have not yet gone for the Terror, have they? So I'm actually going to protect here to see what they want to do. Just go for Flamethrower, so I will Earthquake them now. Okay. If they had Terra Grass or even Terra Water, that could have been an issue, so I'd like to just scout for that. They go Quaxley again. And I'm going to actually just go for Earthquake here. No, I'm going to sack the Zorua, because it doesn't do anything. Diglett at the very least can go for a Speed Tie. And actually I'm able to avoid... Wow. I'm able to avoid a Moxie boost by my Zorua going down. That's fantastic. Okay. Seed Bomb here is pretty free. Actually... Man, does Rowlet get Leaf Blade? I don't remember. It does get Leaf Blade. Am I running Seed Bomb? Yeah, I don't know why I'm running Seed Bomb. But up until now, I haven't had to click it, so... Rowlet doesn't get to see very much usage. It's a cute little defogger, but the typing is pretty bad. You're weak to flying moves, which are really good. You're weak to poison moves, which between Glimmet, Trudel, and a couple others who run it as coverage, it's pretty common to see. You're weak to fire moves, which there are a few decent fire types in the tier. And ice is everywhere, because between Diglett and Toedscool, ice is such, and then I guess other flying types, ice is such an invaluable typing that there's no real reason not to have an ice move or two on your team, especially with Terastallization. So for Rowlet, the Ice Terra is such a liability, or the Ice type weakness is such a liability. Water Terra typing on Rowlet obviously doesn't give it any extra stab or anything, but as a defense typing, I think Rowlet has to have the water typing in this tier. And I will just go for the Brave Bird here, in case they want to go for Terra Flying and be cheeky. I really don't remember if my opponent terrored up until this point. But this should be game, I'm fairly sure. Rowlet is pretty... Well, it's not the tankiest in the world. 24 HP on this set with 18 defense with the EV Light boost isn't too bad. And you can run Roost on your Rowlet, but if you look at the moves it has, what do you want to give up? Brave Bird is your strongest move. Seed Bomb gives you coverage. Oh wow, it lived. Or it died. Okay. Well, now it comes down to a speed tie. Or if they have Sucker Punch, they can go for that. Alright. Man, I don't want to end like that. Let's get another game. I actually want to see that. Diglett versus Rowlet. Terra, ground. Oh, and water. There. 66%. Was that? It was not Life Orb. It was Eviolite, that's right. So we gotta give Eviolite. 50 to 66% roll. And they got 58. That's somewhere in the middle. I guess that's just barely does it. Alright. We got 2 ground types in this game. I don't really know how much Wattrel can do. I'll lead off with it, just in case it does something, but I'm not expecting it to do much. And I will disguise my Zorua as a Larvesta. Why not? I don't know what I'm doing. Just gonna make stuff up as we go. Okay, they did lead off with Wingull, which is fantastic. Just go for the Hurricane here. They do go Diglett, which I don't think was ever the play. Looks like my opponent has a lot of points, so I think maybe they were predicting me to... I don't know why they made that play. I'm gonna Volt Switch here. Like I said, I don't really care about my Wattrel in this game. We'll go Diglett here. They could predict me since apparently they are into that. Gonna Protect here in case they decide to Terrastalize. And now we force the Terrastalization. And they have lost their limit. I will Terra Blast Ice here. And there goes their limit. Good. They do have a decent amount of hazards up. I do want to say that's one of the worst things about having Rowlet as your defogger. That's not particularly good. The fact that it's weak to the Stealth Rock. I'm just gonna Earthquake. I think that's probably the best option. This could be Zorua, and it probably is. They can Will-O-Wisp me if they want, and that's fine. I can now go for the Terra Blast in case they want to be cheeky and go into Toedscool. But if not, then I'm actually gonna go into my... Did I disguise Zorua as? Did I disguise it as Larvesta? That's a bit of an issue. I'm gonna go into my Wattrel, I think, and just click Discharge. Yeah, if we get the speed tie, or if this is the bulkier set, because some of them don't always run 17, I think, then yeah, that'll be okay. Now I can go Rowlet on the Toedscool, because Toedscool doesn't do too much to Rowlet. That's like one of the few good things it has going for it. So they do get their boost, which is unfortunate. I'm gonna go Larvesta here, see if I can get the burn. They're gonna be forced to Sucker Punch me, and they don't get the burn. So I'm gonna go into this, but they of course know that I am not what I look like. So now we have to go into Wattrel and click Discharge. And I will click Roost as they predict that and go for Iron Head. And I will go for Roost again as they go for Low Kick. Which is a good play on their part, I suppose. Now they can get a flinch if they want. They don't. That's fortunate. Okay. I don't need Wattrel anymore, so I'll just sack it. To go for Knock Off, yeah. Good play. Okay. At this point, I will go into Slowpoke and click Thunder Wave. And that should help, for sure. Psychic. And Psychic again. Go Rowlet here. And that actually doesn't really work out for them, because now I can actually maybe kill them. Let's find out. Wingull, offensive. Brave Bird, is 70%, so I have to go for Brave Bird. Can't afford to go for the whatchamacallit, for the Seed Bomber Leaf Blade. Maybe Leaf Blade would kill, I'm not sure. As they forfeit. Alright. Well, that makes up for a couple of our previous losses. We got a win with Rowlet, and you get to see one good part about Rowlet. Rowlet does function decently against Toedscool. A lot of Toedscool will knock you off, so you will lose your Eviolite, and that is unfortunate. But then after that, they don't really do too much. If you want to take this set, maybe get rid of the Leaf Blade. I think Knock Off is just such a good move, right? You can knock off Choice Scarfs, you can knock off Eviolites for other Pokemon in the back. Maybe this team isn't the best example of things to have in the back, but I think Knock Off is just too good of a move, especially right now where Pokemon that should have it, like Pawniard, don't have it. So having that is pretty good. Brave Bird is your strongest move, like I said. And this is going to bug me. So here. Leaf Blade. Yeah, it was just slightly stronger. I had to go for Brave Bird. So Leaf Blade is maybe the move to drop here. Defog really is the only reason to run Rowlet, because otherwise why are you running Rowlet? So I think the last move could be Roost, and that would extend your longevity against Toedscool. But really, I don't think you're going to have too many opportunities like this. I think generally speaking, you're just going to get your Defog off on the Toedscool switch in, and then after that, maybe you can be preserving. It's good for anti-fat, especially because this particular set will outspeed Fungus and kill it with Brave Bird. So it has some utility in that regard, but on the ladder where everything's super hyper offensive and not really that slow, I don't really see Rowlet being good. But yeah, just wanted to try it out today. Since it just released, Slowpoke was meh. It was pretty not great. And the rest of the team, we've seen how those function in the past. These Pokemon are everywhere on the ladder. And yeah, that'll be it for me today. I'll catch you guys next time.